On this episode of How to Do Florida, we explore the sunken ships of the Florida Keys. We're headed to gorgeous Key West to show you how to wreck dive.
The wreck on the Vandenberg, you're looking at history.
And Chef Justin's bringing you a Florida twist on a low country favorite.
Fresh from Florida oysters and grits.
Good job, Chef.
And then we're headed to Crescent Beach. Oh, it's one of Florida's favorite pastimes. We're gonna show you how to do surf fishing.
Here we go. Oh yeah! Beautiful, beautiful black drum.
So get ready, because it's time to do Florida.
Hey, today we're doing wreck diving and we're going to show you how.
Hidden beneath the turquoise waters of the Florida Keys lies a nearly lost chapter of Florida's maritime history, from the Spanish galleons of the colonial era to the modern military cruisers. It's believed that at least 1,000 ships come to their final resting place along this coastline. Known as the Shipwreck Heritage Trail, the remains of these once great seafaring vessels have merged with reefs, providing a safe haven for 55 varieties of fragile coral and nearly 500 species of fish. We're heading to Florida's southernmost city, Key West. If you're looking for a getaway that's exotic and unique, then look no more. Key West is full of character and characters. It's a 3-hour drive across the overseas highway. Once you get to Miami, jump on US 1 and keep driving till it ends.
Hey, here's a nugget for your noodle. Did you know in the mid-1800s, Key West was considered one of the richest cities in the country? And it was all due to a startup industry, wrecking.
Take a stroll down the world-famous Duval Street. You'll find restaurants, bars, and art galleries. This is a city where chickens roam and poets run free. And at dusk, everyone gathers for the big show. Mostly known for fishing, water sports, and its gorgeous historic sites, Key West is also known for its spectacular diving. We met up with Bob Holston, owner of Dive Key West, a full-service dive facility. For the past 40 years, Bob's been a passionate advocate for the marine environment.
How you doing, Bob?
Hey, Chad, how are you doing? All right. We're going to go out and do the Vandenberg this morning, probably one of the premier wreck dives in the world. So come on aboard and let's go have some fun.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
While some wrecks fell to bad weather or poor navigation, others were sunken purposely to create artificial reefs. Over the past 30 years, Florida has developed the largest artificial reef program in the world. The Florida Keys Shipwreck Heritage Trail extends from Key Largo all the way down to Key West, where it's estimated there's a shipwreck about every 300 yards. These artificial reefs create a unique attraction for divers. The latest addition to the Shipwreck Trail, the USS Vandenberg. This retired U.S. Air Force missile tracking ship was intentionally sunk off the coast of Key West in May of 2009. Demolition experts set off 44 explosives along the side of the ship below the waterline. It took just 1 minute and 54 seconds for the 523-foot-long ship to reach the sandy bottom, 150 feet below the surface. With her final mission complete, the USS Vandenberg is now the second largest artificial reef in the world. Since this ship is so massive, the superstructure is only 45 feet below the surface, making it an easy, accessible dive.
The Florida Keys are home to the best wreck diving in the world, actually, and it's definitely the most accessible. One of the things we wanted to do was take some of the pressure off of the reefs. And by having these wrecks as an alternative dive site, we've been able to reduce the number of dives that are on the reefs.
So, Bob, is there any special equipment you need to do a wreck dive?
Well, you want to make sure you have a buoyancy system that is properly, your regulators maintained, so you're not having any issues breathing. But you need a knife, you need a surface marker buoy. Probably the biggest thing that you want to do is always monitor your air gauge.
After reviewing our dive plan, we began our descent, heading across the currents with the aid of a mooring line. After just a few minutes, the radar dishes on the main deck seemed to appear out of nowhere. The sheer magnitude of the superstructure was amazing, but it was the abundance of fish, coral, and plants in and around the Vandenberg that was so spectacular. I could have stayed down there all day, but the next thing I knew, Bob was giving me the signal to begin our ascent to the surface. Without a doubt, it was the fastest 20 minutes of my life.
The wreck on the Vandenberg, I mean, as many times as we've dove it, it's just phenomenal.
Well, what was so impressive for me, Bob, is to go down on that rope and all of a sudden start to see the outcroppings of the ship. It takes you back a little bit. The visual of it is pretty stunning.
You're looking at history.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at something that is going to be there for hundreds of years and is helping the environment too.
Okay, so here's what you'll need. Beyond your normal dive equipment, like BC, regulator, mask, snorkel, fins, it's also a good idea to bring a wetsuit. You never know what the water temp's gonna do down there. You'll need a knife to free yourself in case you get entangled. Definitely bring an underwater camera. You're gonna wanna take pictures when you're down there. And also you're gonna want an inflatable surface marker buoy, or also called a safety sausage. And once again, this is an advanced dive, so make sure you have the experience required to make it a fun, safe dive. Wreck diving doesn't compare to any other diving experience I've ever had. Descending into the depths, seeing the remains of a once great military ship resting in peace was both exciting and mystical. The reverent silence made the wreck site feel almost scary, but the life that arose from all around her was inspiring, mesmerizing, and unforgettable.
Hey, for more information on diving wrecks, go to our website at howtodoflorida.com.
Still to come, we're going surf fishing on Crescent Beach. And Chad's bait gets some sweet, sweet revenge.
This is how you hold a crab, right? Mother!
But first, Chef Justin's whipping up an old-fashioned recipe for down-home Florida oysters and grits.
You guys ready to taste some oysters?
Oh, yes, set it
All
up.
right, let's do it.
You're watching How to Do Florida?
And we'll be right back.
Hey, on today's Florida cooking segment, I'm going to take you to Oyster Town.
It's Florida oysters, it's grits, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. All right, let's get started on our oyster recipe. You guys ready for some oysters? All right, baby. Yes. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make our grits. So these are gonna take quite a while, maybe 20, 35 minutes to cook in total.
Just like anything that tastes good usually takes
Takes time.
Takes
Takes time and
time.
effort. All right, so I got my medium-sized sauce pot here.
Okay.
Got my grits. I've got a little bit about 3/4 water and about 1/4 milk. Bring that up to a boil. Season it with a little bit of sea salt. Go ahead and add my grits. Get those in there.
We
And
switch
you got
that
the
around a
whisk
little
over
bit.
there. Yeah, give that
Yeah.
a stir around.
Okay.
Get those nice and combined in there. Now it's time to make our oyster part of the recipe.
Okay.
First ingredient we want, I've got a little pancetta ham here. I like to use this as a little finer. It's gonna give it a good texture, a little saltiness, some good flavor in here. Starting to get a good little sizzle here, which is good.
There we go.
We just want to get this a little brownness on here, a little texture, a little crispiness. All right, so this is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my mushrooms. Florida mushrooms here, grown right here in the state. You know we want to support Florida agriculture and our
Yeah.
farmers that are doing good work, so
Look at that now.
we're looking for Florida products.
Well, those are good.
Okay, mushrooms going in. I think I'm gonna add just a little pat of butter in here. Keep this going. You know, as we're cooking, we're building layers of flavor, so we want to continue to season.
Keep pre-seasoning.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic. Just gonna put a little quick chop on this. Garlic's going in. All right, so we just want a little bit of color on our mushrooms as well as our pancetta, and that's starting to look good. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding our liquid ingredients. I've got a little vegetable stock here that I'm gonna add,
Okay.
and some heavy cream.
Oh, man.
I don't usually cook like this,
Oh, boy.
but we're throwing some of the rules out the window today. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of hot sauce. It's gonna give it a little kick. I got some daddle pepper hot sauce. Daddle's good Florida pepper.
That'll do it.
All right, we're gonna put some lemon in. All right, to give it a little roll on the board to loosen it up. Chad, you want to do the squeeze?
Yeah, let me show you this trick you taught me here.
There you go. Look at that. No seeds, no seeds. All right, Chad, those grits look like they're about ready there.
This is the hero of this dish.
Yes.
Apalachicola oysters.
Yes.
Who would have thought such an unlikely vessel would carry such a sweet, pretty special meat, right?
And you're absolutely right. Okay, scallions going in. A little bit of parsley going in. It's time to add our cheese to our grits. You want to work this in here? I got a little blend of a little jack and a little cheddar. Let's go ahead and put that in. Not too much cheese. I think it's time to add our oysters.
Bring on the heroes.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Bring on the oysters.
Do you buy them pre-shucked or do you take them home, shuck them yourself?
Well, ideally, the best thing to do would be able to shuck them themselves. That's going to guarantee that you're going to have the freshest oyster. But not everybody has the time to invest in that, so you can certainly buy pre-shucked oysters. All right, time for these oysters to go in.
Oh, man.
You know, really, we want to cook this for a very short time. It depends on how you like your oysters cooked, but I don't think they need to cook too long. So we're just going to work this around.
These are big oysters, too, man.
Pretty good sized oysters,
Yeah.
and they'll shrink up a little bit once they cook. All right, Chad, I think we're about ready to plate up. You guys ready to taste some oysters?
Oh, yes, set it
All
up.
right, let's do it. So what we're gonna do to plate up, got the awesome grits, nice and a little bit cheesy now. Just gonna put these down, a little center of our plate.
A little oyster landing pad right there,
That's right, yeah.
Man.
Okay, this is ready to go. Just gonna put this right over,
Oh,
just like that.
oh gosh, Chef.
I'm just gonna garnish it with a little bit of diced Florida tomato, a little more color on there, and that's it. Fresh from Florida oysters and grits.
Good job, Chef.
For instructions on how to cook your own fresh from Florida oysters and grits,
Go to our website, howtodoflorida.com.
Coming up next, we're casting our lines into the sunrise as we show you how to do surf fishing when How to Do Florida returns.
We're in Crescent Beach, and we're gonna be showing you how to surf fish.
Today we'll be surf fishing on Crescent Beach, located on Anastasia Island. It's one of the most scenic and unspoiled beaches in Florida, and its proximity to the Matanzas Inlet makes this a great spot for surf fishing. Crescent Beach is located just 16 miles south of St. Augustine, which is North America's oldest permanent settlement. Known for its beautiful brick streets, horse-drawn carriages, and unique shopping, this town radiates with history and culture. A must-see when in St. Augustine is Fort Castillo San de Marcos. Started in 1672, the fort was built entirely out of coquina, which is compressed seashells. Driving to Crescent Beach is quick. From Orlando, it's about an hour and 45-minute drive, and 3.5 hours from Tampa. As the sun began to peek out over Crescent Beach, I met up with surf fishing expert Noel Kuhn. Noel serves as the president of the Florida Surfcasters Club. And with over 30 years of experience, you couldn't ask for a better expert to get us started.
I think we're going to catch some fish today. Things are kind of churned up in the surf.
And that's a good thing, right?
That's a good thing for some of the species we'll be targeting today, like the black drum.
Okay.
They like water churned up. It breaks up the little crabs and the clams and the sand fleas.
So while it was still early and the tide was right,
We got a fish on here, fish on.
Noel wanted to take advantage and fish. And fish we did.
All right, a monster.
Look what we got here, man.
A sea monster. What we have here is a little whiting.
It's like a vacuum. He's just moving around the bottom, just sucking up shrimp, crabs, whatever he
Everything
can.
that's smaller than him.
Watching Noel throw a surf rod was like watching Dan Marino throw an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh yeah!
After catching a few fish,
Beautiful, beautiful black drum.
it was time for Noel to show us what we needed to get started.
So take us through what we need for surf fishing.
The two basic rigs, one is a fish finder rig, and the other is a double drop rig. The first
Okay.
one is the fish finder. And this rig allows the line to slide without pulling the sinker. So when a fish bites, you can feel it because he's not trying to drag the sinker. And when he bites, he pulls directly through your line and you can see your rod bend better.
So the fish isn't feeling the weight,
Correct.
and that's the key, right?
That's the key. And this is the double dropper rig. The sinker is secured to the bottom,
Okay.
and these two float up here with your baits on it. And some orange attracting beads. That's the exact color of her egg sac underneath the sand flea.
So this egg sac, that's got to be like honey to those
That's
fish.
candy. That's fish candy. Circle hooks are awesome when it comes to surf fishing. The hook is already set once you get to it. These circle hooks wrap around his jawbone and almost always hook on the right or the left side of his mouth. The point actually comes all the way back around, almost makes a circle. The point is pointing towards the shank. Makes for easy release and doesn't harm the fish nearly as much.
Okay, good.
Everybody's most familiar with a pyramid sinker.
Yep.
Pyramid sinker does a great job. A sinker that'll hold the bottom a lot better is called a Sputnik sinker. The wires hold it in the sand, but when you want to break it loose or a fish grabs it, the wires pop backwards and you can reel the sinker in easily. The other two types, these are referred to as storm sinkers. This has 3 sides It doesn't tumble as much in the surf.
So no, let's talk about rods.
All right.
Rigs here a little bit.
Okay, you got a 10-foot surf rod with a large reel with a large capacity in case you do catch a big fish.
And there's that high visibility line you like.
You can see it better, and the birds can see it better too, so they don't run into your line.
Let's talk about sand spikes.
These are available on almost all sporting goods stores, or you can make them. It's a piece of PVC pipe and a nut and a bolt through it, cut it at an angle, and you wiggle it down in the sand, someplace to put your rod.
What is this?
This is known as the lunar rover of fish carts. This is my over-the-top version of being prepared.
Does this thing need a license plate?
It does have headlights, but I took them off for this.
I assume it's got a few features.
This is the tackle box, 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it, knife, scissors, extra sinkers, place to put all your bait.
Let's talk about these tires.
You can put 50 pounds of fish, 20 pounds of ice, 100 pounds of gear, and just floats down the beach. Sand spike holder and
holder.
2 more rod holders.
How many rod holders?
All the way up.
I need total rod holders right now.
We can put 10 rods on this cart.
Oh my gosh. Can I take it for a test drive?
Go ahead, take her for a spin.
It turns on a dime. No, this is nice, brother. If you're gonna surf fish, this is how you do it. Nola's taking it to, some would call it unhealthy level, but he's taking it to a high level. So Nola, where are those fishy zones we were fishing at this morning?
The waves stir up the bait. It loosens them up,
Okay.
and they fall into the trough. That's where those black drum like to feed. We're standing here on the beach, and these waves have crashed here, and they've crashed here. And all those waves have to go somewhere. They go back out through the runout. So they'll feed right in here also. 3 places, on the sandbar, right at your feet where the waves crash, or right there where the water goes back out.
So Nola, let's talk about bait.
We're gonna use blue crab, we're gonna use sand fleas, we're gonna use clams, and most of all, we're gonna use shrimp.
Here's a little pearl of wisdom. Never take your eye off a live crab.
This is how you hold a crab, right? Because he's got a little chomp to him, doesn't he? Mother! Kill him!
Move your finger.
Get the other one, the other one.
Oh man, he got you twice.
Holy mackerel.
Usually you get bit by a blue crab once, but double bit?
Noel seemed to think that was pretty funny.
Noel, how much bait should you use on your hook?
Like the size of your thumbnail. You can actually catch a very large fish on a little piece of bait. You can't catch a nice small fish on a big piece of bait.
Sand flea, one of the best baits to use out here surf fishing. Got one, Noel?
All right.
Baiting these rods is an aerobic activity in itself. Back and forth, baiting, checking, rigging. No. We're trying to make a TV show.
Now don't bring a chair to the beach. I call it aerobic surf fishing.
From that rod tip, you can kind of determine what the heck's going on out there, right?
Yeah, I can pretty much tell what kind of fish hits it by how they pull and how they tug. If a whiting gets on there, it's just a constant little jiggle. If a pompano grabs it, it's a big jiggle. The rod tip just shakes violently.
What about if you hang a surfer? What does the rod do when you do that?
It apologizes.
So here's what you'll need to start surf fishing. A saltwater fishing license, a rod and reel, the appropriate tackle, bait, a bucket for that bait, a towel to wipe off the bait juice, and a cooler for your catch.
Here's a little of what we caught. We caught a couple black drum, really good fighting fish, also a good eating fish. We also caught a few pompano. This is what these guys are out here trying to catch. If you've never eaten pompano, you're missing out. We also caught a couple whiting. It's a really common fish to catch out here.
Surf fishing is a sport of contrasts. On one hand, there's the thrill of the unknown just waiting to be caught, and yet it's deeply calming as you take in the smell of the salt air, the mesmerizing rhythm of the crashing waves. Perhaps that's why many feel that surf fishing is a quintessential way to do Florida.
To learn more about surf fishing, go to our website at howtodoflorida.com.
You're watching How to Do Florida. We'll be right back.
We've traveled from one end of the state to the other to show you how to do Florida. Well, that's our show. I hope you've learned something, but more importantly, I hope you feel encouraged to get out and do Florida.
For more info on this episode, go to howtodoflorida.com, where you'll find bonus how-to videos and all of Chef Justin's yummy recipes. And be sure to check out our Do Florida page, which is our giant list of events and activities all over the Sunshine State. Yeah, you should check it out.
This has got to be the most photographed piece of concrete in Florida right here. This restaurant, you want to eat, you got to catch your chicken. Watch this. Right, come here, come here, come here. Dinner's gone.
Man, tough crowd.
You get my nostril hairs, or what are we doing here?
I'm upset. I'm like, Whose show is it? It's not that bad, no.
Wow, that's professional knitting.
Oh yeah, Key West coconut water right here.
Florida, all across the state, teaching people what to do because the state is great.
That's great.
Do you take them home, shuck them yourself?
Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yes.